Nights of the Hunt 7. Caddock remained on his knees when he opened his eyes. He had not the strength to stand. He put his right arm to his left shoulder, where the wound was now gone. Still it ached terribly. His pain must have been noticed by the doll, who quickly walked over to him and knelt down to gently take his left arm. "Dear Hunter, is something the matter? You seem to suffer." He looked up, but could not maintain the contact, resorting to letting his head hang low. Will this dream ever end? Of course it will. Morning always comes. Don't... No. I meant... He looked back at her, sighing and feeling very tired from the pain in his arm, and much more. All of this, everywhere I go, I only see a waking nightmare. Oh dear Hunter, let me hold you. She leaned in and wrapped her arms around him. He did not return the hug. You... She whispered hesitantly in his ear. You could stay here, in the dream, if everything else seems like a nightmare. He let her hug him for a moment longer, before he pushed her gently away. Her face did not convey any emotions or dismay at him doing so. But he noticed that her hands quivered reluctantly, not wanting to let him go. No, that won't do, I'm afraid. He stood and took her hands to bring her up with him. Oh, pardon me. I know it's not meant to be. But you shouldn't be sad. He shook his head at her. I'm not. But it can become difficult at times. I can't stay here. But you listen here. I wish that someone, someday, comes along that makes you smile and makes you happy. Like you have done for all us hunters. It won't be me. But I hope that someone comes along. You deserve it. The mouth on her expressionless face opened to speak, but she said nothing, nodding quietly to him. Farewell, good hunter. He nodded back, then walked away, through the garden to the metal gate. Atop the hill, at the foot of the great tree, sat German. As he walked, his left arm felt stiff. German watched him coming, tracking him with his eyes. When he stood before him, He turned his eyes down at the flowers on the ground. He sat in his chair, both hands on the cane planted in the ground. You have decided to wake up. I have to. I can't do this anymore. German nodded sullenly. He felt great shame, as it was like disappointing his father. I don't blame you. Yours was perhaps the hardest duty. Not only giving mercy to your kind, but also finding the truth. But I didn't. I only found one. And perhaps that was meant to be. But you said 3 was needed. I failed. The old man looked past him, towards the distant landscape. Oh, that may be. Kadok turned to briefly look in the same direction. But his attention eventually drifted towards the great looming moon above them. Then German spoke up. Every great one loses their child, then yearns for a surrogate. Imagine that fate. He looked back at him. German closed his eyes and sighed. We once found that child with 3 cords. Taking the 3rd, the one with eyes, and angered the mother, as it rightfully should. I know that now. Every great one. He looked up at the moon. Oh, you may not have been the one to find 3/3 cords. The cord of the eye. But one day, thanks to you, Kadok, someone will. Evolution does not happen overnight, my hunter. It takes all of us. All of us must hunt, for our heirs' sake. It is them that takes our strength, our blood. Is that our fate? Is that what the gods want? It made him want to become angry, to shout at German, to have simply been a pawn in a god's game. But he was unable to. Something instantly suppressed his anger mildly. Like a simple realization, it was futile. All of this, all I've seen, is it worth for one child? Even if it is a god? Among all our faults, we share a desire with the gods. Our biggest fault is that we tend to miss it. Once. I used to look upon the moon and feel everlasting mercy. I did not know, but now there is a presence in the moon, Kadok. It is not evil, nor is it good. It is simply a desire to hunt. And Kadok, do you know why we hunt? Why men have always hunted? He was silent, as he felt he did not truly know. German chuckled at him, but smiled sympathetically. No, as I said, many tend to miss it. We hunt for sustenance, of course, to nourish ourselves and those we love, so that one day our children can be born. One can say we are not much different than the common beast, after all. He felt his arm ache, and he looked up at the moon. I bid you farewell, Kadok. I'm sorry. Yes. May you still find your worth in the waking world. Kadok laid his right hand on his left shoulder. He had done so somewhat unconsciously, as he had become lost in his memories. It had started to ache terribly, and upon trying to move his arm, it felt stiffer than ever. Mr. Kadok? He shrugged off the sensation and stood to walk towards the cleric's outstretched hand. He thought his grip was a bit limp, but then again he might have grabbed it just a bit too harshly. My pleasure. You with the choir? Indeed. Edgar, at your service. Shall we? The young and well-groomed man ushered him through a door leading into the research hall. I was told by Master Ludwig how much of an extraordinary effort you have conducted, whereas he was rendered unable to do so. You were a hunter once, yes? That I was. But can't do the same thing forever. His response was unintentionally brusque, but Edgar retained his casual and friendly mannerism. I understand completely. Perhaps you would like to observe our treatment wing? Sure. The man smiled, a grimace that came off as hollow to Kadok, and he walked up the first set of spiraling stairs. So what is the choir, really? My impression is not that you simply perform to the masses. Edgar chuckled. True that, my friend. No, we are the department that researches the more arcane scientific theories, mostly properties of the tomb alongside the vicar. The name choir is derived from the work regarding different tones of sound that have been discovered to carry supernatural significance, even attunement to the arcane. Uh-huh. Oh, it's not as profound as it sounds, though we take great pride in our work. You see, we are strictly an internal body of the church. Why you might have heard of us to begin with is likely due to how some of us also are board members and advisors to the vicar. We even have some hunters appointed under Master Ludwig, you know. They walked off the central stairwell. He noted that the man spoke very calmly and firmly. Despite Caddock not being the most sociable fellow, and admittedly somewhat of the paranoid type, his explanation came off as too reassuring. If he was here on a tour, why did the man seem to feel particularly defensive about the choir's reputation? Here we are, the patient's ward. I must say, though, I advise against staying too long, with the patient's best in mind. Is it normal for choir members, or any other department for that matter, to waltz into sections that are not their own? Well, this is a tour. But no, we keep mostly within our own departments. I also thought the cathedral's patients' ward had been closed. This is the special ward. Cases of difficult nature require the minds of all the church's elite. Of course. Might I ask, Mr. Caddock? Well, I heard from the church hunters that you seek the conclusion of strange disappearances. Is that perhaps why you are here? What gave you that idea? Oh, I mean no offense, but judging from the accounts, you have been very involved in this. They told me so just as Ludwig came with a request. I could not help but wonder. While Edgar's mouth smiled nervously, and his brow was apologetically upturned, his eyes were firmly focused. The same type of focus Caddock was familiar with from his own hunting profession. Yes, seeing how you are so intimately tied to the healing church, yes, it is part of my investigation. I see. With a hand almost touching his back, he motioned for them to step beside the door and closer to a cornered nook. Despite the occupancy and operation of the research hall being best described as stale, Edgar still felt the need for privacy. Is the choir a suspect? Nah, you can feel at ease. It is likely the nefarious deed of some lowlife. I do suspect they might be posing as church hunters, or even potentially be the church hunters. Oh, yes, that sounds reasonable. But what could be their motives? So expertly absconding with decent people? I have a few ideas. Could be that they play blood doctors and harvest them for blood, but there are other reasons too. Well, have you gone to the church with this? No, don't want the word to get out. Though the church could provide help, I'd rather keep it an undisturbed case. Well, you have your methods, Mr. Caddock. But I've heard, and recently, the church hunter spotted a curious fellow, acting much like a nocturnal hunter. But he hunted not beasts as they saw, but spied on the homes of people. Huh? Who was this? Oh, I could let you know who told me. I became aware just a few days ago. I must say, the rumor instantly came to mind once I heard about you. Old Hunter Badge. This Hunter's Badge, crafted in German's time, has no practical purpose, except perhaps to assist in romanticizing about the past. The badge was a special privilege for the hunters of the past, and should not be dishonored. It should be left in peace, unless one is truly prepared to assume the will of those gone before.